$27.6 billion in drug shipments revealed in encrypted ledgers. Agents arrested dozens across 7 states.
529 suspects charged after a tunnel uncovered beneath Atlanta City Hall. ICE and DEA seized 800.
Federal agents have uncovered what officials describe as a massive criminal infrastructure operating beneath a government building in downtown Atlanta. Sources confirm more than 500 suspects are now facing federal charges tied to narcotics trafficking, corruption, and underground logistics tunnels discovered beneath the mayor's office complex. The Department of Homeland Security says this operation could become one of the largest coordinated federal takedowns in Georgia history. At 4:23 a.m., the city of Atlanta, Georgia, sat under a humid early summer haze. Streetlights glowed across empty intersections near Mitchell Street and Washington Street, just blocks from City Hall. The air carried the low rumble of distant highway traffic. Cleaning crews moved slowly through the marble lobby of the municipal complex. Outside, the American flag hung almost still in the warm night air. To anyone passing through downtown that morning, the building housing the Atlanta mayor's administrative offices looked quiet, routine, secure. The same building thousands of residents walked past every day without a second thought. But beneath the concrete floors, beneath the rows of offices and conference rooms, federal investigators believed something else existed. A network of reinforced corridors, hidden chambers, and a tunnel system running under one of the most powerful government buildings in the state. To the public, it was City Hall. But to federal investigators, this was not a civic center. This was the operational hub of a criminal empire. The investigation began quietly nearly 2 years earlier. At the center of it all stood Marcus Holloway, age 54, Deputy Infrastructure Director for the Mayor's Office, a respected public servant, a policy advisor, a man photographed at ribbon cuttings and community events across Atlanta. To neighbors, Holloway was a dedicated civic leader who had spent 22 years inside city government. But to federal analysts reviewing financial intelligence reports, Holloway appeared in a very different category. A logistics architect, a man whose digital fingerprints appeared inside financial records tied to international narcotics trafficking networks. At first, the clues were subtle. A construction contract here, a consulting payment there. But investigators from ICE Homeland Security Investigations noticed something unusual in procurement documents tied to renovations beneath the mayor's office building. Millions of dollars allocated for utility upgrades. Yet utility maps showed no changes. Then investigators ran financial cross-references through FinCEN banking records. Payments tied to Holloway-connected contractors moved through 31 shell corporations registered in Georgia, Delaware, and Panama. The transactions totaled $842 million over 6 years. But what agents discovered next pushed the case into something far larger. Several of the shell companies shared financial connections to known cartel logistics brokers operating in Mexico and Colombia. Investigators launched surveillance. Phone intercepts followed, encrypted messages referencing cargo routes and underground corridors. The pattern was unmistakable. This wasn't just financial corruption. It was infrastructure. By the time a federal grand jury signed off on warrants, investigators understood the risk. Because the location at the center of the conspiracy wasn't a warehouse. It was a government building. At 4:31 a.m., the order went out. Operation Iron Corridor began. More than 320 federal agents from ICE, DEA, FBI, ATF, and the U.S. Marshals Service moved simultaneously toward downtown Atlanta. Armored Bearcat vehicles blocked intersections. Tactical units stacked outside the administrative entrance of the mayor's office complex. Flashlights off. Night vision active. A breacher stepped forward. Steel door. Hydraulic ram. 3 strikes. The door gave way. Agents surged through the corridor. Short commands. Radios crackling. Boots striking polished marble floors. Secure the lobby. Second floor clear. Move to the lower access points. Inside Holloway's office, agents found the first layer. Encrypted laptops. Financial ledgers. Bundles of cash sealed in plastic currency wraps. DEA agents cataloged $3.7 million in physical currency inside 2 safes behind a false bookshelf. Nearby cabinets contained 12 handguns and 3 AR-style rifles. Surface-level evidence of corruption. But that wasn't what stopped agents cold. Because thermal imaging cameras revealed something strange beneath the building's basement floor. A hollow cavity, far larger than any utility conduit. Agents removed a maintenance panel behind a storage wall. Cold air rushed upward. A ladder descended into darkness. Flashlights illuminated reinforced concrete walls. And then the full scope appeared. A tunnel, not a crawl space. A corridor wide enough for cargo carts. Electric lights mounted along the ceiling. Ventilation fans humming softly in the distance. The tunnel stretched beyond the building's foundations. Agents followed it nearly 400 feet underground. Halfway down the corridor, they discovered the second layer, a logistics chamber. Inside sat stacks of sealed cargo crates. DEA field tests confirmed the contents within minutes. Fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine. By sunrise, the inventory reached staggering levels. 742 kilograms of cocaine, 311 kilograms of fentanyl powder, 184 kilograms of methamphetamine. Enough narcotics to generate more than $1.2 billion in street distribution value. But investigators would soon realize the drugs themselves were only a fraction of the operation, because the tunnel didn't end there. Another reinforced door waited at the far end. Agents breached it at 5:08 a.m. What they discovered inside changed the investigation forever. A secondary chamber filled with computer servers, encrypted communication equipment, shipment schedules, digital ledgers mapping narcotics movements across 12 states. Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Miami, Phoenix, Los Angeles. The underground tunnel beneath the mayor's office was not just a storage site. It was a national distribution control center, and the numbers inside those ledgers revealed the full scale. Over $27.6 billion in narcotic shipments routed through the system during a 10-year period. At 5:14 a.m., agents escorted Marcus Holloway out of the building in handcuffs. He had believed the tunnels would never be discovered. He was wrong, but the mayor's office complex was only the beginning. At 6:02 a.m., a second order went out. Simultaneous raids launched across 7 states. Chicago, agents breached a freight warehouse linked to Holloway's shell companies, seizing 221 kilograms of cocaine and arresting 18 suspects. Dallas, DEA teams intercepted a trucking convoy carrying $4.1 million in cash proceeds. Miami, federal agents seized cryptocurrency wallets containing $73 million in digital assets. Phoenix, ICE officers shut down a logistics brokerage coordinating shipments tied to cartel suppliers. Atlanta suburbs, ATF units arrested 3 security contractors responsible for guarding tunnel entrances connected to the underground system. By midday, the network began collapsing. Communication channels went silent. Encrypted messaging servers shut down. Cartel logistics brokers attempted to disappear. Too late. By nightfall, the task force reported 529 suspects charged across federal indictments. The final numbers told the story. 529 suspects charged under federal narcotics and racketeering statutes. $812 million in assets seized. 1,237 kilograms of narcotics confiscated. 41 firearms recovered. 31 shell corporations dismantled. 12 distribution hubs shut down. By evening, Marcus Holloway sat alone in a federal holding cell. No office, no influence, no government badge. Just the echo of steel doors closing behind him. Atlanta residents awoke the next morning to headlines describing the discovery beneath City Hall. Trust shattered. Internal reviews began immediately. Federal investigators launched audits of municipal infrastructure projects across the region. New oversight systems followed. Independent contracting reviews, infrastructure security inspections, and federal monitoring of high-risk government procurement programs. Because investigators now understood a simple truth. The network had survived for years by hiding behind legitimacy. Operation Iron Corridor proved something America often forgets. Corruption rarely looks like crime at first. Sometimes it wears a suit. Sometimes it carries a government ID badge. And sometimes it hides beneath the very buildings meant to serve the public. The tunnels under the mayor's office are sealed now. Concrete poured into every corridor. Steel plates welded across every entry point. But the scars remain. And tonight, at least one criminal empire no longer operates in the shadows beneath Atlanta.